Hi, I'm Wendy, and today I'm going to talk about the impact of constructive as opposed to destructive feedback in professional settings. Now, think back to a time when you received feedback from somebody, from perhaps a supervisor, a manager. How did it make you feel? Was it a positive experience? Was it a constructive feedback? Or did you feel actually quite discouraged? Even confused, upset. It was quite a negative experience. Well, feedback is critical for professional development. We all need that, but it's how it's delivered will determine what you do with it and how you act afterwards. So constructive feedback has the power to shape attitudes, to bolster performance, or if it's destructive, it can leave lasting scars on people. So I'm going to have a look at the profound effect that constructive and destructive feedback has on people. I'm going to give you a few tips about that, so hopefully they will help you the next time you need to give feedback to a colleague or to an employee in your business. So how do we ensure that our feedback is constructive? The first thing I say is to be very specific and descriptive. So don't be vague and overgeneralize. That won't help anybody. Your colleagues and your employees can't be expected to guess what you're thinking and what you need from them and how you would like them to improve. Clearly articulate the behavior or the performance you are addressing. Provide specific examples to help them understand the context. The second is to use what we call the sandwich approach. So you've got like two layers basically. You've got the bread at the top and the bread at the bottom, and then you've got the filling in between. So the first layer, begin with positive feedback, followed by, that's the second layer, some constructive points. May not necessarily be positive, but they should be constructive. And then finish balancing it up with that third layer, which is another finishing on a high or on a positive, encouraging note. By adopting this sort of sandwich approach, which we like to call it, it provides a rather balanced balances the criticism with the positive, so it provides some balance for the person. The third tip is not to focus on personality and personal things, but to focus on behavior. So address actions and behaviors rather than making personal attacks. Personal attacks are unprofessional and will not help anybody. They certainly won't help you as a manager, and they for sure won't help the people who are working with you. So this ensures that the feedback is all about improvement rather than passing judgment. The fourth tip is all about offering solutions and guidance. So instead of just pointing out, and even though you might think, well, I'm being constructive, but if all you're doing is pointing out suggestions, what people can do, then you're not really going to help. You need to provide perhaps some actions for people to follow. They may not necessarily know what to do with that feedback that they're being given. So try to give them some actionable suggestions for improvement. Guide the people you're working with on how they can overcome the challenges that they're facing and enhance their performance. Obviously, you need to be timely. That's my tip number 5. Don't wait to deliver feedback many, many months or years later. It needs to be delivered in a very prompt and a very timely manner to make sure that it's relevant and that it's actionable. Waiting too long to deliver feedback can diminish its impact and relevance. Feedback can be a very potent force that can either propel individuals towards greater heights, or if it's destructive, it can absolutely shatter their confidence. So understanding the impact of constructive and destructive feedback is essential if you are a manager. So try to embrace those things that I talked about. Try to work towards contributing to a culture that thrives on collaboration, innovation, and continuous improvement. Remember, the words we choose today will shape the leaders of tomorrow.